This is Kenneth Rock. This is the 11th of May, 1978, and I'm visiting with Mrs. William K. Lind, L-I-N-D, and you came in 1911?
1909.
1909?
1909, we come to this country. My dad was a miller, had a windmill.
Okay.
He had a windmill. You know, with a windmill, you had to live out of town on account of the wind.
Okay.
Because the wind is more even out of town than it is in town. And that windmill, you know, it only ran when the wind blew.
Yes.
Sometimes it blew very hard. That he had to shut it down. He couldn't even, it was too fast. When the wind was too strong. When there it was warm, it was warm. When it was cold, it was cold.
I see.
And all the rains, I'll never forget that, was warm. We never had a cold rain. Whenever it rained, I went out there and I just run around in the rain till I got soaking wet. And then my sisters all called me a duck. She's just like a duck. She likes to cuddle around the water. It was just so warm and felt so good. You know, when you were out there and the water come down over you, it was just the nicest shower you ever had.
So you saw lots of wolves then?
Though they had them, we seen them walking. My sister and I, we went to the creek. We had to carry our drinking water for quite a ways. And we went down to get some water. And here it was early in the morning. And we heard them go along. They'd go along and they just kind of howl a little bit, you know. You know, when a dog howls, that's what they do a lot. And we heard them. When we heard them, we dumped our water out and pounded our tails together, make a little noise and went home. Without water. The Russians would come in our town and peddle stuff, you know. I remember that we kids used to be a little afraid of them.
Yes, strangers coming in.
Yeah, strangers coming through there, and they'd even buy bones. So
buy bones?
All the bones, they trade you some stuff for bones.
Is that right?
Where an animal died, you know, out in the field someplace or in a pasture, and then the wolves eat all that meat off. There was the bones. And the kids go out in the spring and pick up all the bones
and sell them to the Russians.
I don't know what they done to them. My dad, when he lost his mother when he was 9 and his dad when he was 11, I never knew. And he had to work in the mill. He had to, when he was 14, he had to drag those sacks upstairs, and he had a hard life.
He must have been a very strong man.
He wasn't a big man. He was no farmer. No farmer. He didn't have any land. He didn't have any portable gold enough, see. And when there was a boy born, he got so much ground from the government, from the Russian government, see.
Okay.
Not the girls.
Not the girls.
Not the girls, no. They didn't get nothing. Just the boys.
Wasn't fair, was it?
I was always busy in work, and I didn't care for the boys. So I didn't have any trouble.
Now, when did you meet Grandpa?
They were our neighbors there. They was just...
Yeah.
I never paid much attention to them when I was They insist on, you know, not to say, I'm not going to marry him. I'm not going to get married. But that's the way it goes. I was always hanging around my dad.
Yeah.
I was one of them. And I was out there a lot with him in the mill. I thought that was a lot of fun. And I enjoyed it. And he done carpenter work, so I got in carpenter work with him.
Is that how you learned? He taught you?
Yeah. First thing when I wanted to make something, I was under his carpenter bench and sat there and cried. And he come out and he said, well, Mary, what are you crying about?
well, I wanted some wood. I want to make something. Well, he says, what you want to make? Oh, I'm not quite sure yet, but I want to make something. Well, he says, you come out here, and I'll show you how. I was crying. I didn't want to be a girl. I want to be a boy. So I could do carpenter work. And he says, a girl can do as good carpenter work as a boy, maybe better. So the first thing I'll do, he said, I will get the tools out. He showed me how each one worked.
It sounds like he was a good teacher.
Oh, he was.
He was a good teacher.
He had his shop, you know, and he told me that I could any kind of wood I want there. Well, what are you going to make? Well, I says, I don't want to tell you yet. I want to see what I can do. And I want to make a yoke for the goat, because I had to milk the goat. And I had a box in the front for grain. He wood, 2 pieces of wood up there for the yoke, put it together, you know. And got that done, but after I had done, he come out and he said, now I want to see what you made. I came over and called the goat and dumped her grain in. She walked down that step and in that yoke.
And that was the first thing you
The
made?
first thing I made in my life.
How old were you, Grandma? How old were you?
8
years old.
When you did that?
And he said, is that what you made? Yeah. Now he said, you don't have to cry anymore. He says, I'd like to see a boy that could make such a nice one as you made.